to represent their region in the next stage and take on Lowkey for the right to go to day number 3. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Lowkey, it's Renegades, and it's gonna be a banger. We're gonna start ourselves off over in the blue side of the field. An actual opportunity for Torsos because of so late. Came in a bit too early here now. Usually if you do go too early on these plays, it would mean that you have to slow down. You've got to try and pick yourself back up for the play. It'll be very interesting to see which team can position just that little bit better.
And even just the last series, we saw E United start out so strong, 2-0 up in the series, then they got reverse swept. At this point, you really just have to build on the momentum that you gather early on, and you can't let that slip.
You can't let mistakes, more specifically, get into your head. It almost feels like that's what happened to E United throughout that series. It's going to be Renegades who control the ball for the most part so far. A banging clear from Tanda. Off the backboard, he's going to have a chance to follow. Instead, Card took it, and I feel like that was the wrong decision. Now Sicky to the corner. Infield pass available. Infield pass taken, but it's not any real danger for the net.
I love the passing so far, though, from Lowkey. I mean, utilizing that midfield space up on the offensive end. I feel like they're really receptive on just trying to get the ball infield and not too worried about solo plays.
Lowkey with that offense. South America, when they came in, everyone was talking about this offense.
Yeah.
And it can be so amazing, but at times it feels like what they've got in offense, they lack in defense.
And that's what I noticed about the 3 Sins. It felt like their offense was incredible. It just they had a couple mistakes on the defensive side that really just ended it all for them.
Kyle into the middle. It's Kami with the follow. He's unchallenged. Couldn't get it past Tanda. Needed to put it behind him. Second shot. Tanda gets himself another save.
And Tanner's the man who had an incredible series earlier on versus Veloce to help get that win. He just completely popped off. We've got to have all our eyes on him.
Now Sicky to the corner. Couldn't get anything else from it. It's Card. Plays the ball down the line. Picks himself up boost as well. And Kami's taking a little bit of time here. Just trying to get the ball under his own control. Now infield pass to Card. It's another good interception. Both teams really doing well at spotting the plays.
And look at the patience there from Sicky. I love this dribbling play so far from Renegades. I felt like they were a little bit too eager in their earlier series against E United that they did end up losing. I felt like they just jumped at every opportunity, now taking it a little bit slower.
Tanda can follow this one up. Has he got any passing options? Bukayo down the middle, and they're gonna get their first goal.
And what an insane pass. Tanner follows it up off the corner, even getting bumped, and with just precise aiming to Kayo. You cannot get a better play like that. And we talked about it, the offense from these South American teams is incredible.
But that showed something different to me. I've watched so much South American play this season where it seems like pace is the only way to open up teams. That was slowing down the play and slicing Renegades apart.
Pure finesse.
Now going to be Renegades' chance to try and bounce back, and it has been a rough year for OCE, ending last year with a day 3 and a top 4 spot, and they have got nothing so far. Currently sitting at 0-7 in the RLCS throughout 2019. They do not want to go 0-8.
I mean, I thought it would just be a mental break until they picked up Sicky. I thought maybe that fresh roster would change things, but they still took the very first loss in their series earlier this tournament. So at this point, it really is a curse.
Trying to play over to Sicky. It's off the backboard. Can't make contact, but he's almost got the save. Torsos sees the ball in. I
thought maybe Card would get a piece of this as he's falling off the backboard. An initial first touch did not go his way, but he's falling down on the ball, and Renegades, they exploit all that space because nobody's there on the backboard for Lowkey.
So they get it back. Minute and a half left on the clock. This all-important game number 1. Now Sicky wants to keep that momentum going. It's a good challenge, but an even better defensive rotation. Sees the ball to the other side of the field. Torsos. Follow. He's actually got a demo from it as well. He'll be pretty happy with that. It gives his team a chance to try and get themselves into a decent position, but what they did with it is put 2 players into the same spot. Feels like they've got more out of this than they probably should have done.
The backboard defense from Lowkey, a little bit all over the place. I feel like they're not really trying to focus on those rotations in the backfield, and they're playing a little bit too flat-footed.
It's Card. Just trying to get out of the midfield. Renegades getting their position just a little bit deeper right now if they're off-ball players. It means booming clears are going to be much more difficult to get to go anywhere. Instead, Lowkey will have to try and solo play, and as soon as they realize that, though, you know, feeling they can be so dangerous. Lowkey have some mechanical monsters
definitely
on their roster. Out to Kami for the double tap. Card has to get there, and he sees it away, but that was a dangerous moment. Oh, double commit as well. Tandem might not have spotted it. Just gets his car back around, but it's now pressure in a second touch for Torsos. It means that it slows down the play. A couple of nervy moments for Lowkey, but they've got away unscathed.
All the pressure so far really has been Renegades. I feel like Lowkey has very pop-off moments here and there, but so far they haven't really been able to starve out Renegades. But still, it's all tied up.
Sicky will be by himself. It's an awkward bounce. He does get there, and he's going to try and follow it. Infield pass, and a tame shot to finish us off and head us into overtime. Kami, just straight to the corner. He's going to be the one to follow. Gets boosted. He's still got the ball as well. Leaves it for Torsos, and that's open for a shot. Couldn't quite get the players in position in time, but Renegades testing the net early.
And then we see Kyle on the backboard, and still nobody there. There was nobody on the backboard, and still a shot open for Renegades. Everybody is on the ground right now for Lowkey. It's so difficult to defend, while you see Renegades just banging it off the backboard.
But Renegades needs to be so careful about their third man positioning. If they get too far forward, it will just take one big clear for Lowkey to set them through on net. And they've managed to transition themselves out of defense. What have Lowkey got on the offensive side? Well, they've got a bump from Kami, and it seems like not much else. Good play. Over to Tanda. They're back out again. Lowkey getting better and getting out of their defense. Off the crossbar. Follow! Going to be blocked one more time. But Kaio for the top corner. It's Sicky. Dives in. Keeps it out of his net. Tanda's going to take his time. It's a lovely tip over the top. Kaio's able to control this. Forces a challenge. 1-for-1 trade. Just a bit of a slow down now in this play. Sicky coming as far as Tanda. Kami now off the wall. Renegades controlling this overtime so far. Control doesn't mean anything. They need the goal.
Yeah. And we just saw how explosive Lowkey can be with that one chance this overtime that they've had. So close. Great setup. Here's another one for Renegades, though. Off the backboard, still defended by Lowkey. They're hanging on.
Yeah, they need to try and find a better way of setting up for each other, though. So far, Renegades being the offensive team. Not quite how I expected this one to go down.
Yeah.
And Lowkey, they're getting better at getting this ball out of defense, but there's still times where it can be very, very tough for them. This is an example of it. Okayo gets the ball into the final third, and now they've got possession of the ball. It's a huge hit, though, from Tanda. Was it wasted? Going to try and slowly find a way for this. Off the backboard, Okayo, another block. 2 minutes of overtime played. Who's going to get it?
Open.
Card for the net! All bow to the king!
And it gets reversed onto the Renegades. All that pressure just fails, and Card sinks it in onto an open net. Nobody's there. Renegades, they were just so disorganized, and that's what I was talking about, the explosive play from Lowkey. They managed to just hold on last second on defense and then explode out of their own half.
And who better to get it than Card?
Yeah.
He has come into this tournament at 1.6 goals per game over in South America. He was by far the most talked about player. Many people calling him King Card coming into this.
A legend.
He is showing that he is royalty on the field.
And he's facing against Sicky right now. This is such a historic match. I mean, we were talking about it earlier, Shogun. We could not wait to cast this because we've got Sicky and Card, both basically the representatives right now of their regions, coming in and just clashing right now on this field.
So, Lowkey able to get the win. They played a lot of that game on the defensive side of the field. And for you, Turtle, what do Renegades need to switch on the offense? Because we're seeing them over there quite a bit, but they're struggling to create.
It's all about that last piece. I mean, I can see such great pressure. The possession is definitely there. Like, we were watching this entire time, and it felt like Renegades really were just running around in the offensive half and had all the possession, but there was never that extra effort. We didn't really see any demos at all. We barely saw a lot of boost starvation. It felt like they kind of limited their aggression by just kind of trying to keep it over there, but instead, they need to push forward, go for those demos, open up even better opportunities if you can't get a great shot in.
So Turtle over here saying that we just want to see a few more players in front of the ball.
Continue that rotation.
Absolutely, and I have to bring myself to agree with you here, Turtle. Let's see if Renegades can make the changes necessary, because when Lowkey get themselves on defense, they are so hard to break down. You're going to have to punch your way through that wall.
And like you said, Shogun, we didn't expect Lowkey to be the defensive team out of this matchup. We thought it was going to be the complete opposite.
Ball popped up. It's going to be Card. Overtime winner in our previous game. He want to try and take that further forward. And Torsos, well, he's not putting his team in a great spot right now, handing away possession in the opposing side of the field. Kyle for the drop. And you can see Card was lurking. Another shot on target. It's just to test the defender. But a half volley given up to Siki means that Renegades can escape. Now Torsos to the corner. It's going to be very awkward looking. It's bounced off the post. Card has to just get the ball away, only to the midfield, but that was a interesting jump there.
And you saw all the work that Torsos did to open up that space, and nobody from Renegades was pushing up with him.
Siki. Downfield, there was a player downfield from the Torsos, but he went too far forward. The further you press downfield, the easier it is, the longer the ball has to come for you. And it does also mean that more time for any defensive players on Lowkey, they can spot that, they can intercept that. And as an offensive player, you haven't really got much place to move, whilst the defensive player can just run straight forward and take it. Kaio with Card up in support. It's going to be blasted downfield again. Renegades happy to keep doing so, but Torsos comes up with an insane play.
We've been waiting for the pop-off from Torsos, and look at this shot
out of nowhere.
Full field clear. Torsos snipes the corner coming from the other side of the pitch.
Wavepunk said he was waiting for the one Torsos player that made him say wow.
And there it is. We have gotten it in probably one of the most historic matchups we can get.
Absolutely. Renegades suddenly explode into the series. And it was doing exactly what you said. Leave someone downfield. Give yourself an extra option.
Be confident in your aggression and your positioning. Renegades, they have the skill. They've done the work. We've seen it in their league play. We know they have what it takes.
Card trying to find control up on the wall. Torsos dropping the ball to the middle. It's another great transition, but they've got to try and find another way. Maybe getting that third touch. The first two touches are very good, just getting rid of the immediate danger. Now they need to find a way of getting that third touch that finds their way into the Renegades half.
They're finding a way to alleviate that pressure, like you said, and it's just kind of almost the same concept, having real confidence to push forward, but they don't have any boost because they're getting starved off this Renegades possession.
An experienced Renegades performance so far. Drops down, Tanda recognizes he's got space. At least as much as Kami would allow him, but Torsos, you know, there's the other side of Torsos. We talk about how he can sometimes come up with absolutely insane plays, but other times, a little shaky.
He's a veteran at this point.
He's a veteran.
He did so much on that stage. And you can see that still the nerves can get to you. Such a high-pressure situation.
There's no experience quite like it. It's a huge demo as well. Siki, though, still in a good spot. Now Kami for the drop down. What a goal that would have been. Lowkey still defending well, but defense is not what they need. It's Kami for Torsos. Have they got a third player? Siki is slowly creeping in. Two players committed. Will that leave a shot? Kami just puts the ball up high. I think that was the right decision. Get people back in position. You don't need a shot on target. You just got to get that ball up high, make it hard to transition again.
Don't get too desperate, and that's what I noticed, really, Renegades jumping at everything in their previous matchup against E United. It's so much more calm and collected here against Lowkey, who are just stuck on defense.
Huge challenge from Kami. Tanda
with a
pass! Oh my goodness!
What? Tander just hovering in the ceiling. Are you serious?
That is outstanding. And more importantly, Lowkey have got themselves back in this game. Despite the scoreline being 1-0, it looked like Renegades were coasting.
And then here's another one.
That was almost stolen from Renegades. They need to wake themselves up quickly. Lowkey Esports, explosive offense.
They were stuck on defense this entire game, and then they pull out a play like that.
But it's exactly what happened last game. Renegades control the majority of it, but it's those 10 seconds, those, even less than that, Lowkey need to put together an unstoppable play.
And I think it's really because the offense from Renegades has not been that threatening. We haven't seen any demos, the aggression. That one play from Torsos was it.
Well, you've got to remind yourself as well that if you do start getting those demos, it means that leaving a player downfield becomes that much more risky. You don't want to leave someone all the way down there because a demo happens, you've got one person left. Who knows what position they're going to be in? Having that extra risk can be so dangerous. That is a huge play as well. Managed to pop the ball up. Gives time for Card to get himself downfield. Tanda now clears the ball to the orange side of the field. Torsos, and as far as Card. Can't quite find Kaio, and that's going to be dropped straight down. Renegades don't want to see anything of that. And this is an overtime that you get the feeling Renegades really need to try and take. They lost the last one. Awkward positioning from Torsos. That's going to sneak its way through, though, and Siki gets it done in less than 10 seconds.
Right off the kickoff, Torsos from the ceiling. What a pass down to Siki. And look at the placement. He slots it under the defender and over the goalkeeper. Siki, the shooter, the main striker coming all the way from OCE. Such great stats backing him up. And he makes Renegades, back in contention, really, because otherwise we would have been looking at a reverse sweep.
And there's two parts of that goal, actually, I want to go through with you here, Turtle. The first one is just going to the ceiling. Now, the main thing I've actually started to notice about this is the ceiling, dangerous anyway, but usually you can challenge those. You just send someone immediately, you get the play going early. I think the more dangerous part these days about ceiling shots is the fact that everyone has to put their ball cam on you, and you almost lose the entire vision of everything on the floor.
Oh, completely. You're right. If you have ball cam on, you are literally just looking up the entire time. You have no more positional awareness, and it's an interesting concept because you have to decide, first of all, who's going to actually challenge. So once you see a challenge, you not only, because nobody can really take their ball cam off, because you have to see where that challenge will go. And just right there from the ceiling, nobody from Lowkey even bothered with challenging that and attempting at intercepting.
Absolutely not. And the other one I want to bring up to you is how Rocket League shooting has evolved pretty much over the last year or so, I would like to say, where a lot of these shots these days, they try and go where the defenders have just come from. So if a defender is coming in from the left-hand side, a lot of shots these days also try and go to the left-hand side to try and catch a defender going past the ball, because in Rocket League, so much easier to move forward than it is to move backwards. As soon as you cross that line, as soon as you are not defending that top left-hand corner, that's a shot to make.
Yeah, and I think one of the greatest things about Rocket League over the years has really been the recovery from players. I mean, you talked about how most people would rather go forward than backwards, and even I feel like ceiling shots, ceiling passes have all really just been more integrated through great recoveries.
So both games so far have seen Renegades on the offensive side, and Lowkey just trying to pick their spots. Now we do set ourselves at one game apiece. Renegades making light work of a crucial overtime. Card on control. I want to see just a little bit more ball control from Card. Definitely try and play into what he's very strong at. A lot of people, when we've heard them on the stage, have said, okay, we want to see, more team plays from Lowkey. This might just be one of them. Drop straight to the middle, nobody around. Good play back though from Card. But that doesn't mean completely remove the individual plays. And I feel like that's what Lowkey have done so far this series.
I think it's all about having that option there. I mean, if you just keep forcing one player forward, you're never really going to go for a pass play because you don't have confidence that your teammates are even in position for it. But if you can start, giving your player that option, giving your teammate an option to go for either a solo play or a pass, then you can start to kind of infiltrate it more.
There we are, Card forcing the edge, or we can see exactly what that does. It removes Siki from the play. They got Lowkey the chance to try and move forward. Tanda sort of flopped onto the ball, and that gives a passing option for Siki, and an absolutely outstanding save from Kaio keeps us deadlocked.
That pass across, so lethal, but what a shot. Card, are you kidding me? Snipes the corner.
It was almost the exact same play, an infield pass. Renegades couldn't get past the Lowkey defense, but Lowkey do not have that problem.
And King Card just locked everything on target to that corner. You cannot put it any more into that corner. That's literally the one spot.
Siki did not have control over that ball. Gives options for Lowkey now to start pressing forwards. Kami Has to get a second touch. He does have a bit of support in Siki, but not much forward progression. 2 players used, and you can see exactly what that causes. Open net.
And Kaio, he's trying to make sure his team gets proven to be the dominant region after the demo. The defense is just destroyed, and he's got an open net to shoot at.
And how good, Turtle, has it been to see Kaio at this tournament? Because these days we do talk about Card an awful lot, but when South America was first announced, Kaio was the one everybody wanted to see, and we didn't get to last season.
And it was so sad because he's a player that, you know, we've all had our sights on, and even talking to Chamaco, he was a little bit disappointed because he really wanted to test Kaio against these other regions, you know, North America, OCE, EU. It is just such great competition, great practice, and it can elevate anybody's playstyle to the next level.
Torsos on the chase. Gonna be dropped straight into the middle. Kami actually back down there. Why go forward if you're not gonna commit for it? It's a good challenge though. And this time Kami with a chance. Drops it straight down. It's an opportunity! And Torsos again can't sneak it through.
And Kami set it up so beautifully. He took his time, waited for the air dribble, kept the control, and then got a solid challenge. The setup was perfect, but the shot did not manage to find the net.
These air dribbles becoming a major part of game 3. Here's going to be Torsos' attempt. It's going to be a difficult time for Card, but a missed touch from Torsos makes life that much easier.
And it's surprising to see because, I mean, I've seen a couple of missed hits from him this game so far. We just saw a couple there. I mean, he had such a pop-off goal earlier on in the series, and now it's kind of deflating a little bit.
Kami tries to get a bit of time to find some passing options. Siki just drove straight forward. A little bit of desperation from Renegades on the offense. And the regional pride on the line here. Siki up. Can't find the double tap. He's going to settle for boost. There's a straight shot. There was the infield passing option on Torsos. Didn't end up taking it. Another minute and a half left. Renegades still looking for 2 goals.
And Lowkey are almost giving the opportunities away to Renegades because these shots that are coming in and the way that they're using the space is not there. But there's an opening from Kaio. He slots it into the net.
I'm very curious as to how this net ends up being open. Kami was over in the shot. Siki misses. Oh, there you go. You see a lot of teams try and use a player over in the corner to get a half volley, but you've got to hit the shot.
You have to make contact there because that bounce was just too brutal to handle.
3-0. Lowkey Esports rocking and rolling in game number 3. For Renegades, the offense just not there right now. They've got to get something going.
Oh, what a double.
It's going to be dropped straight to the middle, but another challenge and another challenge win for Lowkey. Siki lets the ball bounce. And Lowkey Esports, you know, this has been an impressive defensive display because a lot of times we're only hoping that they at least get in front of the shot. They're not only just getting in front of the shots, they are blasting the ball back down the other side of the field.
And even whenever they can't manage to find a challenge, I found that the goal line saves from Lowkey this game have been really solid. Earlier on in this initial game, there was one incredible save across the corner. I think it was Kaio who got it. Just clutch plays overall, and you can tell that Lowkey in this game really are here to prove something.
Well, that might be number 4. Siki has to push the ball away. But Lowkey Esports dominating in game number 3, and with 14 seconds left, there is nothing Renegades can do but fight for a consolation goal. Will be Torsos trying to do so, but just disjointed in the way they try and set things up. Lowkey ready for everything, not making mistakes, and now they're going to be 1 game away from grabbing their 2nd win at this World Championships and claiming regional dominance over OCE.
And Renegades, man, you know that they are hesitant at this point. It has just been such a long year for them. And now Lowkey, you know, coming from South America, they haven't gotten nearly as many opportunities, but they're definitely making it count more right now versus Renegades, a team who has just been struggling to get some offensive movement.
Absolutely have been. Renegades just getting caught consistently, and unfortunately for them, this game, you know, they were just as much at fault for the goals going in as Lowkey were. Although that was what started off the downfall.
And I love Kaio's movement here with the ball. I mean, he didn't even want to go up too far with it offensively. He knew initially, I'm going to cut this turn in right away, find the pass in the midfield. It was so early to get a pass in, but that's exactly why it worked, because nobody from Renegades expected it, and nobody was there to intercept.
Absolutely not. We didn't even really see much of Tanda throughout that game. He wasn't really needed at point. It was such an impressive performance from Kaio and Card that he just sat back, made sure he was doing his role, and wasn't anything else needed. But for Renegades, you know, we've been talking about for the entire series, we've got to see that offense, we've got to see the infield passing plays, but more importantly, Turtle, the shooting. Because they had a couple of very good opportunities to start off this game. And those first goals can make a huge difference.
And Renegades, they're not just completely quiet here on the stage. They have good setups. They have the build-up there. It just comes down to whenever they make that initial shot. And that's something that happens to a lot of teams on this world stage, is the nerves kick in. And, you know, finding and hitting passes or just getting a quality touch is definitely an easier thing to do for most people, so long as you're not a striker, you know. And we expect that those things from Renegades. But who's going to step up? Siki, I mean, he was the leading striker right now. He's got to make a stance.
Yeah, Card has stepped up to the plate. Will Siki do so as well? Or can somebody else on Renegades climb into the history books as the team, that player that led his team to victory here? Well, right now, Lowkey have just been so relaxed in these last few games. It's going to be dropped back off. Kami and the rest of Renegades will want to try and find a bit of speed on this offense. Then we pop back out. Tanda plays the ball long. Renegades holding into the midfield. Might be able to try and pass that back to Torsos, but he's still trying to land. No recovery available. Tanda going slow. Well, he's on 0 boost. You can hardly blame him.
And again, we're thrown in the 1v1 scenarios. The opportunities like that. Renegades, they have been in the offensive half almost this entire start so far, and still nothing threatening.
Yeah, but that was a much better opportunity, I'd have to say. Definitely a better creation, trying to use the infield pass. Just got unlucky that it was red. Card taking his time. And Torsos ambitious with the pre-jump. Tanda for the setup. Kyle doesn't want to go for it.
Oh, good challenge.
Siki now able to keep moving forward. Only one left, trying to be sneaky. Just slid the ball to the other side of the field, but Lowkey Esports were equal.
Almost a big miss there in the corner from Renegades. We have a little chance at Lowkey. We've seen what they can do with just the smallest windows, the smallest opportunities. As Renegades, you just have got to be shaking anytime you're on defense.
Well played out. Siki might have a passing option. No, Card just immediately clears. Only over to Torsos, though. Back over to the middle. This is the opportunity they need. And Card just delicately plays the ball away.
This has got to be so infuriating if you're on the side of Renegades. You find that last pass, the opportunity, the window is there, and then King Card saves Lowkey and blocks your shot.
Renegades, though, back on the offense. Looking very similar to games 1 and 2. Got to try and find the goal. It's going to drop down. Card straight into the path of Siki, who does get just demolitioned for his troubles. Card clears again. Kaio's going to slowly chase this one. It's a very heavy first touch, though, from Card. Means that Kaio will not be able to reach it. That's not a good touch, though, from Tanda. Siki wants to try and lay this one off. It's very awkward. Bounces straight down. There's no way to miss that.
The defense has finally broken for Lowkey. Kaio, he had enough boost to get the save. He just didn't expect the positioning of the bounce at Torsos. He is not going to miss that one, like you said.
It feels like Lowkey were expecting the optimal play. They were expecting like a powerful shot, an infield pass, and it was just a bouncing, slow shot. Completely threw them off.
It's just a change of a mix of what Renegades have been trying to do, and it works out beautifully.
Now off the backboard, we're going to try and get their second. Renegades have not scored 2 in a single game so far this series. Well, actually, they would have done because they won the overtime. Torsos. Back into the middle. Kami. The bump. Looking for the bump. There it is. Torsos will remove the defender.
And this is what I was talking about. If you can't set up the best opportunity or shot because there's a defender in net, just take him out. Set your sights on him, and that's exactly what Renegades did to get that security goal.
So now it's Lowkey, who have had to very limited time to put together offense, getting the majority of their chances, punishing Renegades as they move forward. Yeah. Renegades now don't need to move forward. It's going to be on Lowkey to try and create something.
Well, we talked about it before. I mean, just the smallest window. If you back off and you're Renegades, you give them space, it could be the end and the start of a comeback for Lowkey.
Torsos back into the middle. Will it be three? Quite get it past the defensive side. With a minute and a half left. Renegades will be feeling very good about themselves, and Kami just went on the warpath, removed 2 players from the back line. Takes away any supporting players. Here's Kaio. Oh, goes straight for net, and there's nothing any defender on the planet is gonna do about that shot.
Kaio literally launched a missile from the wall, saving his flip, and that was so fast onto the net. Torsos couldn't even get anything on it to try and block it. He got a hit, but it was not nearly enough for how fast that ball was going.
And suddenly nerves will creep back in for Renegades. 2 goals up, they had the opportunity to try and play their game. It was going to force Lowkey to come to them, and Lowkey, they were happy to take that challenge on. Now we need 1 more with 1 minute remaining. Drops over, Tanda and Card. We're trying to see who fancies this. It's going to be Kami up here first. Lowkey struggling to find their rotation. Sicky straight on net. Bounces off the post, but a couple of warnings to Lowkey that they're not just going to get offensive. They've got to cover the defensive side as well.
And Renegades, they no longer have that security goal. Everything on the line. Lowkey are at match point. If Renegades lose this and allow a comeback to happen, it's over for them.
Kami up onto the wall. More offensive Renegades, although that's going to be 2 players committed. Torsos, though, I don't think this was the right decision. Should have hit it hard first time, and they're going to get punished. No, missed! And Kami is going to thankfully see that one over the top. Lowkey should have been sending us to overtime. They've still got offense. Going to be bouncing up high. Torsos with the clear. He makes the right decision this time around. And they're just going to see this one onto the floor. Turtle! What was that?
Renegades have got to be the most relieved you could possibly be in Rocket League at this current moment. Look at his face. Look at Torsos.
Torsos knows he just got away with that.
I cannot believe they missed.
Nobody on the back line. Torsos decides to try and control it.
What?
And he almost gets caught. He'll be very thankful that he was at least involved in that play. Yeah. He was the one that got the bump.
Oh,
but there will be only 1 play remembered from this game.
I cannot believe what just happened. And we saw the demo plays, the better integration of new play styles from Renegades, which really gave them the edge just up into the last second. Low-key, it was there, but now they've got to bounce back. They've got to put that behind them. Will it tilt them is the real question at this point, because that is the closest you can get to scoring a goal in Rocket.
Well, they're definitely chatting to each other, and this was a huge criticism of South America in the last World Championship, is when they were losing, they went really quiet. They weren't talking to each other. They weren't trying to figure out how to improve for the next game. So this is already a massive improvement for South America. Definitely. But now it all comes down to this. Game 5, Renegades against Lowkey, South America against Oceania. Who is going to take it? We're going to find out right now, Turtle.
Literally.
I was excited for this series all day.
Yeah.
And I'm so thankful that it's lived up to my expectations.
Which region is dominant right now?
Which region will continue on in the RLCS World Championship? Both these teams, the final representatives. Veloce waits later on in today for the winner of this series.
And I'm just going to pay attention right now to Lowkey so far in their confidence. Just want to see if it's any tilted them. I mean, that huge miss, how will it affect them versus Renegades? I mean, they've got to be feeling so confident right now. All the momentum really is in their favor.
Kami tries to keep following it up. Does still a boost as well. Lowkey got plenty of options, though, to try and clear. And instead, Card wants to take the ball coast to coast by himself. It's a good play. Kaio now moves in. Sicky straight over to Tanda. Tanda, infield pass! Not quite there, but Sicky, I think, had him covered. Now tries to move to the other side of the field. Kaio avoids the block. end-to-end gameplay so far. Kaio gets it over. It's not quite on target, and Torsos calmly moves the ball away.
And good speed there from Torsos as well. He could have just waited a bit, but he definitely would have gotten dunked on by the offender of Lowkey. And just dribbles it out, patient clears. And even here, we see him being so aggressive in the midfield, so fast.
For Lowkey, this is the most offense we've seen from them in the beginning of one of these games. They realize what's on the line, and they don't want to put it in Renegade's hands. Tanda off the wall. He's got Sicky trying to put pressure on. Who's going to be first to this ball? Card already up, and he was unchallenged. Torsos over to Kami. Another great play. Both teams trying to show off their ways of just removing pressure from the defensive side. Oh, let's go for a crossbar. Card try to control it. Does steal boost instead. Quick warning shot from Renegades. Torsos now to Kami. Will Kami go net? He does. Both teams so far trying to take route one.
You see the boost deal as well from Kami. Now the defense is just all over the place. Renegades really doing numbers and slowly tearing apart this Lowkey defense.
Kaio needs to get a block. He's done one better. He's got the ball passed. But now Sicky, he finds Kami. Kami for the net! What a goal!
Kami from the corner. One of the most insane angles. And he uses the flip. There cannot be any better timing to hit that shot right now in the battle of the regions.
Renegades are 1-0 up. Over half the game to go. Lowkey looking for a response.
That one goal could be the one difference maker in this series.
Tanda on the ball. He's got options downfield. He chooses himself. Sicky with another great challenge off the backboard. Can they find that second? They're just looking to try and keep pressure on, especially because they've got a ball player in the net. Instead, Card has to try and scramble back. Wasn't expecting to need a save. He's done well to keep it out. Now Torsos unchallenged. Renegades mauling Lowkey in game 5.
And they're just starving them. Look at the boost pads. Kaio even rushing to get the corner. And now they finally make it out. But look at the interception. A big miss there for Renegades. But still, it doesn't even matter because they're so aggressively defended. Barely any space. Card doesn't have a great dribble, but now's a good chance.
Played over to the side. He had a player diving straight into him. Had to try and create some space. Ball up high. Lowkey have struggled to outpace Renegades in the air this series. Minute and 40 on the clock. Over to Card, but Renegades always holding players back.
Yeah.
I almost feel like right now, Lowkey, it's time to break out the individual plays. You've got space for it. Off the backboard, untouched, and Torsos clears up the mess.
And they almost answered you, Shogun. It was there. They had the window, but still not enough. The mechanical ability has died down just a bit from Lowkey.
Tanda tries to get up. Once again, Renegades faster on the draw, and they've got the 2-0 lead. Sicky puts himself on the board.
Sicky, we've been waiting for it. The MVP with a huge dunk over Lowkey's defense, and he just smashes it into the net.
Lowkey Esports have it all to do now. A minute and 14 on the clock. They've got to get something quickly. There's one in the chat. Infield pass for Kaio. Smothered. Follow-up shot from Card. Smothered yet again. And it's Sicky who slows the play down. 0 boost for him. He's reboosted. Lowkey have to start all over again.
Last game, Lowkey just started building momentum. They almost had that buzzer beater. They can do it again, but it's got to be soon.
Over the wall. Kami. Banging clear to Sicky. Off the backboard, a 3rd goal for Renegades. We didn't do this. Dropped to the middle though, Tanda.
He's got space.
He's got Card. Card has plenty of room to work. Tried to fake it, but Sicky was no fool. Desperation now for Lowkey. You can see how many players they're moving forward. No. It's 2v1 on the net. Crucial touch from Tanda.
They've got to get huge clears. Now is the chance. Time is running out for Lowkey Esports.
And you get the feeling that one clear for Renegades. If they can get this ball to the blue side of the field, it could be over. Sicky leaves it. Every second ticking down. They've got to get a goal with time left on the clock. Tanda into the midfield.
Maybe.
It's Card.
Maybe.
It's on target, but it's simply not enough. 0 seconds on the clock. Renegades will take the win. OCE will survive.
The experience pays dividends. for Renegades, barely clutching out this series in such a close Game 5. This was such a pleasure to watch. Lowkey, they fought so hard, had some crazy plays, but overall Renegades, once they started feeling it on the pitch and connecting those passes and going for extra rotations, the demos, the aggression, that's when they started to click.
Turtle, we look at OCE, we look at South America, these regions are for real. These regions are
100%.
dangerous.
Yeah.
And Renegades are going to take that danger and move on to the next round where they will be playing against Veloce for a spot in top 6. That's going to be later on today, and that is going to be one heck of a series.
I cannot wait, because now the curse has been lifted.
1-7 now. That's the important bit. They've got
all
the
that
one.
matters. Just now they can forget literally about everything else. Torsauce, his boys, they have gotten the victory that they've been waiting all year for. And now, I mean, how will they carry the momentum? Is this just going to spiral and explode into maybe one of the best runs we've ever seen from OCE? It is so possible right now.
It absolutely is, and you've got to be looking at the teams at home. Ground Zero didn't make it. The Chiefs didn't make it. They've got to be looking at this and going, thanks for doing us proud, lads. We needed that.
Definitely.
They've managed to get themselves into the next round. And we were talking for so long about how we were expecting it to be Sicky, but for me, it was Kami. Kami was unstoppable.
That one shot off the corner in that Game 5 was insane. I cannot believe he managed to hit that. That was the one shot that we knew. Once that happened, Renegades were just taking it.
Absolutely. So, Renegades will be moving on to our next round. To break it all down, we're going to hand it over to Leaf.